Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's assembly or Mrs. Milner's midweek message. We're going to be focusing today on an artist, an author, an illustrator called Charlie Mackesy, and his work is a particular favourite of mine. And I'm going to be talking to you about how Charlie Mackesy's work shows hope, which is our value for the month. So without further ado, let's get started. So here we can see two pictures. On the left, we've got Charlie himself holding his dog, and that's Charlie Mackesy. And as I said, today's assembly is going to be all about Charlie and his drawings. And on the right-hand side, we've got a book, and this is a book that Charlie's become very, very famous for, well known for writing, and it's a favourite of mine. Here's my copy here. I absolutely love this book. And it is just full of gorgeous drawings, and each drawing has a really important message for us. So we're going to have a look today at a couple of Charlie's drawings and some of the messages that we can draw from those pictures. So in the book, the boy, the mole, the fox and the horse, the animals are sort of on this journey. And one of the pictures here, I'll read it to you. "Sometimes I don't feel very brave," said the boy. "That was brave of you to say," said the horse. So why is it brave to say that you don't feel brave? What's brave about that? Why is it brave to say how you're feeling? Well, I think that sometimes it can be really hard to say how you're feeling, particularly if you're feeling anxious or scared or worried. It can be sometimes quite difficult, and we can be quite scared to say how we're really feeling in case somebody judges us or somebody doesn't understand how we feel. And this picture reminds us that actually it's really brave to say how we're feeling. There's a video, and I'll send out the link to this video at the same time as I send out the assembly to you, so that you can watch the clip. There's a BBC clip of Charlie talking, and when he's talking, he talks about himself asking for help, and he said one of the bravest things he ever did was to ask for help. So why do you think it's brave to ask for help? I think for the reasons I've just described, really, that sometimes asking for help can be quite a scary thing to do, to admit that you're struggling, to admit to other people that you haven't got it all sorted, to admit that maybe it's not going quite so well, and to say I need help is a really brave thing to do. And I think that's what this drawing is reminding us of. Here's another one of Charlie's drawings. "Everyone is a bit scared," said the horse, "but we're less scared together." So what is it about being together that makes us a bit less scared, do you think? How is it that if we're together that we can feel a bit better about things? What are your thoughts around that? I think that understanding that other people feel the same way as we do is really important. So when we're feeling a bit worried, knowing that that worry is something that other people feel makes us feel a little bit less worried about being worried. And knowing that other people are going through the same thoughts and feelings can be a great comfort to us. So knowing that other people are a bit scared, a bit worried, just can be very reassuring and very comforting. It makes us feel a little bit less alone if we're less scared together. Now, in Charlie's video, and if you watch the BBC clip, you'll hear him talking about this picture, because Charlie's pictures are a huge amount of comfort to lots of people. And in the film clip, you'll hear how, for example, for nurses and those people who have been working in very, very difficult situations during this pandemic, Charlie's artwork and his messages have been a real comfort. And he tells the story of a nurse who had been making her way to work, and somebody was posting different pictures that Charlie had drawn, and they were sticking them on their garden gate, and the nurse actually started choosing a different route to go to work each day, because she knew that there'll be the next picture to see. And this picture about storms was one that was a particular comfort. What's the best thing you've learnt about storms? That they end, said the horse. I wonder if you can work out what this picture's really talking about. Are we really thinking about thunder and lightning and rain and wind, or are we talking about something else? What might the storm be at the moment? And how is this a picture of hope? Well, lots of you know, because lots of you did those drawings in the first lockdown of rainbows, and you put them in your window as that symbol of hope. And this picture represents, and the storm represents, the difficulties we're having at the moment, the restrictions in our lives, the fact we can't see our friends and family in the way that we would hope to do so, the fact that we can't travel, there are lots of things that we ordinarily would want to do that we can't do. Lots of you can't come to school at the moment. So lots of things that, and that whole situation that we're in could be seen and represented as a storm. It's if you think about a storm can create damage, a storm can be quite frightening. I get quite scared when I hear thunder and lightning. Some people love it, some people get excited by it, but lots of people get very scared during storms. And when the wind's blowing and things get, trees get blown over in really big storms, it can be quite a frightening place to be. And I think when Charlie's creating this drawing, he's talking about this storm being all the challenges we're going through at the moment. But he reminds us that storms end. So when we do have bad weather, and I'm looking out the window right now and the wind's blowing like mad out there, but that won't last forever. It won't be, it may be later today it calms down, or it might be tomorrow, but storms don't go on forever. And he's reminding us that the situation that we are in right now won't go on forever, and it will end. And that is a sign of hope that we will come out the other side of the situation we're in right now. So some ideas of things that you might want to think about, some activities that you could do. Now, in the film clip about Charlie that I'm going to share with you, he talks quite a bit about hugs and how they've changed during lockdown. So he talks about the fact that, before lockdown, we might take a hug for granted. We wouldn't necessarily think too much about having a hug because it was just something that we could do. Nobody was stopping us. But during lockdown, we realised quite how important a hug is to us, because we can't hug like we used to. But hopefully we'll be able to hug soon. So one thing you could do is either talk about or draw a picture of the people you're looking forward to hugging when it's safe to do so. I can't wait to see my mum and dad and give them a great big hug. Now, Charlie, apart from writing the book and all his drawings and messages of hope, he created a design for comic relief. Now, the reason I'm wearing my hoodie today, I don't know whether you can see, just lowering the camera a bit, that there's the design on my hoodie and it says love wins. So this was a comic relief hoodie. And I've also got a t-shirt and a bag with the same design because I love it. Now, Charlie raised £2 million for comic relief for that Love Wins drawing. So I wonder if you could design your own drawing for Love Wins, or a drawing encouraging people to speak up when they're afraid, or reminding them that they're not alone. Charlie also wants to remind us that the storm will end. Remember that the storm ends. So I wonder if you could draw a storm picture, perhaps with the sun coming out from behind a cloud, or with a rainbow like Charlie's drawing, to remind us that the storm will be over soon and that we won't carry on forever in the way that we are right now. And why is being a bit scared together better than being scared alone? I wonder if you can describe how these pictures bring us hope today and remind us about being more hopeful and more positive. Well, lots of ideas there of things that you could be doing. And if you're in school today and you see me, you'll see me with my Love Wins hoodie, and that might remind you of some of the messages of hope that Charlie provides us with. Well, have a good day, everybody, and I'll see you next time.